el licenciado Nicolás Takeda nos entrega su entrevista exclusiva al prestigioso juez norteamericano, el señor David Powers.
And you travel around the world, what do you think the tendencies in all that countries around the world is that tendency to buy and not, it's not easy to breed dogs and have all that time involved in breeding dogs, or depending on the culture, depending on the country?
It varies from country to country. For instance, China, which is the new arrival, they seem to be very, very active. Of course, I've been only to large cities, so it's hard to talk about the whole country. But you see some people that are very, very active in showing dogs, most of which have been purchased because it's a relatively new sport. But already, I'm beginning to see, you see a dog here, a dog there, bred in China of good quality, that could be shown any place in the world. That's encouraging. But on the other hand, as I said, in many countries, it seems to be disappearing because of the time we live in, the economical problems, all of these factors.
That's great to see. You think so that more time in judging, to explain the breeders what to improve or what not to improve, is going to be something that could help overall?
No, I would think so. Definitely. It's I know people. I'm going to say in the States because I do this in English more than I do in Spanish. I know people who've been in dogs for years and don't know what I'm talking about when I talk of layback, the layback of the shoulder blade. To me, the front is very, very important. I think anyone who watches me judge is going to realize I put great stress on the front. It seems to me, it carries the whole, everything's built around the front. The rear just pushes that front. I mean, that's very simplistic, I know. But people should know after a rather short period of time that layback is where you want that shoulder. And they don't know if you want it like this or someplace in between. And I think that's unfortunate. And I suppose if you're giving written critiques, and if someone, for instance, sees on there for the third time, I'd like more layback, maybe then they'll ask someone else, what does he mean by layback? And we don't really have the opportunity to instruct people in that way because of the time factor. I suppose language problems sometimes. I mean, if I'm in China, Chinese is like running water. I mean, I think that would be very, very difficult to learn. But I have no way of explaining to them unless they speak English or Spanish what I'm talking about.
I think that Argentinian people here in the show would like to know, what do you think about the last show that happened in Buenos Aires Kennel Club? What do you think about the people and also the quality of dog that you see here?
This is my, I think, 10th, 12th time to Argentina. I love coming to Argentina. The people are always friendly, polite. And we hope not just to my face, but it could be. I mean, I know. It's the sport. If you win, you're very happy. If we lose, we're not quite so happy. But the show was beautiful. I mean, the only thing that the site lacked was my house sitting there, because it was beautiful. The quality of the dogs was as in everything. You had some excellent ones. You have most which are in the middle, which does not mean bad. It's just most dogs are in that middle. You find little faults, some have less faults, and then you find a few that you think, oh, no. I hope these people find another dog in you. And I suppose that's part of judging, you try and, unfortunately, because we don't do the critiques like they do in Europe, which I find very boring to do. I think it really makes for better breeders. You know, most of the people here don't know why I did what I did, or in most of the world, unless they take the time to come up and ask, which sometimes you don't mind, other times, and you can hear it in the tone of voice, you know, they don't really care, they're just trying to, you know, put that knife in a little bit and say, you were wrong. But I wish more people did know why we do what we do, because I think that's the only way you're going to improve. And if you know, so many people, I don't find it, of course, I'm not here as much. In the States, in Mexico, I find there are always those who, they have to have an excuse for why they didn't win. So it's the politics, it's the economics, it's whatever it is, you know, there's always an excuse. But I wish that we had more time to explain to people where we think the good points and the bad points of the animal. I mean, excuse me. You know, because each dog has its good points. Just some have more good points, and you know, it's that balance.
Well, David, thank you very much for your interview and for your...
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Muchas gracias a todos. Fue un placer haber estado con David Power. Espero que les haya gustado.
Perros en acción. No cambies en el próximo bloque. En la hermosa ciudad de La Caldera, en la provincia de Salta, el señor Gerardo Paulucci examinará los estupendos ejemplares de la final de exposición organizada por el Salta Kennel Club. El especialista argentino elegirá al ganador de esta hermosa muestra canina. Quédate con nosotros. Hay más. Perros en acción.